Hey everyone, Tracy Joseph with Tracy Joseph Coaching. I'm a keto lifestyle coach and I am not live because somehow Facebook broke, and I'm just going to record the video and upload it as soon as I can get Facebook to go back to normal. So today I'm going to be talking about supplements, powders, shakes, and if it's necessary on keto. And just so you know that if you have other questions, have other concerns or other thoughts on keto that you want to share and become part of a group, I do have a Facebook group called Keto Plus Mindset. And if you just type that into the search bar on Facebook, you'll find us there. If you're watching this on Facebook, you just hit the link up at the bottom, the button up at the top, and that says join Facebook or join group. That will take you there. If you are watching this on Instagram, you can go to my profile and click on the link, and that'll take you to the link to my Facebook page. So there's a lot of different ways you can find us. So, but to get back to whether supplements, shakes, powders, how are those all, do those fit into the keto lifestyle? Generally, they're not necessarily. You do not need all the shakes, all the exogenous or the exogenous ketones, or some people say I can't even say it. Anyway, the external ketones that you would drink. You don't need those. You don't need the bars. You don't need all of the fancy shakes and all of the things that you see that you get ads for and see all the time. So they're not necessary. You can do a completely clean, they call it clean, keto diet without any of those other things. Now, whether you want to do it that way or not is up to you. Everyone has a different preference, whether it's convenience, whether it's an extra boost, or something that they feel it might be more helpful to them. That's certainly your choice. I started with exogenous ketones to start my intermittent fasting, and that helped kind of get me into the swing of things. I think I used it for maybe a week, but it's not necessary. You can work yourself up to it, because I jumped in with both feet. I didn't work myself up to being into ketosis before I started doing the intermittent fasting, so you can totally do it without any of that stuff. Some people do it with it. My philosophy, now that I've been doing this for a while and I've been watching other people, is that it should be as easy and as accessible as possible. And for me, that means whole foods and buying real food and eating real food and not going into all these other products. I'm not saying the products are bad or not, are good or anything in between. That's for you to decide. But for me and my philosophy is that they're not necessary. But they can be helpful if you feel that that's a necessity for you. Things like the MCT oil, you can take that in pill form, or you can take that and you can put it in your coffee, or there's other ways to go about it. Some people have it the liquid form. You can cook with it, and that's totally fine. You can get that same oil through coconut oil and your olive oils and other types of oils, so you don't necessarily need to have it. It's nice because it's flavorless and you don't have to worry about having the coconut flavor if that bothers you, but it's not necessary. There are the other like the bars and the shakes and things like that, and I think you can get to that point. They're getting a little bit farther down the road with basically doing meal supplements, and my opinion is that those supplements and those meal replacements really are not necessarily the best idea, because if you're trying to change your lifestyle, you should be working on changing the food that you're eating and changing the way you're thinking about food, and not replacing them with a shake or with a bar, because Slim Fast does that. Other, Atkins, I think, has done that, the Atkins bars and things. That's great for like a, on the go, on the run, a quick thing for once in a while, but it really shouldn't be part of the plan. You should be working towards, if you're working towards changing your lifestyle, it really needs to be working on how do you adjust your food and how do you make that transition. And it doesn't have to be fast, but that transition should be food based. And so these other types of products are, everyone has their opinions, and mine are, they're not necessary, that they don't need to be done. Although I am, I can see where if you're traveling, if you're, going other places that it's not readily accessible, I can totally see how that would be a benefit. But if you're, home doing your everyday stuff, I think that it might get too easy to rely on something, and then it can also get you kind of skewed because some of those products aren't always the best in large quantities. So definitely make sure you're watching for those things and making sure you're staying within your limits so you don't go over, because some of those have hidden sugar alternatives that can really mess you up. Some people get intestinal issues if they eat too much of it. So there's some things to be careful of. So yeah, that's my opinion on the supplements, shakes, and powders. I think we really need to focus on whole foods, on real foods. Collagen, I think, would be one exception because yes, you can get it through bone broth, and you can get a lot of great stuff especially when you make your own. But sometimes you need a little bit extra boost because you can't always get the bone broth in ways that most people aren't going to get them in. So, they do have them in powdered form, and you can add those things into your foods, your sauces. You can get them the peptides that don't gel, and so you can put it in your coffee, so you don't have coffee gel. So yeah, that's my opinion. I hope it was helpful to you. I hope you realize you do not need to spend a fortune to have good health. It's, always spend the best that you can on the food that's available that you can afford, but you still can start anywhere and move forward from there. So I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you want to learn more and want to be part of our community, like I said before, we have that Facebook group, Keto Plus Mindset, and we'd love to have you, and have a wonderful day.